Okay, here we go.
All right, welcome back, class. Hope you've had a good day of school so far. We're at the midway point. We're almost done. Today, we're in world geography, and we'll be having some fun with maps today. Before we go on, let's review our classroom standards. Be a scholar today. Scholar meaning being supportive, creative, honest, on task, a lifelong learner, accepting of differences, and respectful to everyone in the classroom, and I would say just in life in general. Let's review from our last class yesterday when I introduced you guys to our world geography unit. We looked at a lot of things like globalization, culture, map, and the very minute but important difference between our words place and space. Place, a location with unique identity, and space, the physical dimensions of a location. Along with that, we also talked about the features of a map, that being scale, showing and indicating size and distance on a map, latitude and longitude, which are going to be your horizontal and vertical lines going across the map title, which is showing you or displaying the information that's about to be shown, the key and the legend of the map, which labels the varying features about it, the compass rose, which is northwest, east, and south, and the map grid. We also talked about the different types of maps, including but not limited to political maps, physical maps, topographic maps, thematic maps, and choropleth maps. And just a few visual examples for the class today, like our physical map, our topographic map of Montana, a political map of the United States, and a thematic choropleth map of the weather in Australia. So let's put that new knowledge to the test today for you guys before we move on with this unit. So here we have a map of Yellowstone National Park, and there are some features of the map that are here and included, and some that are not included. So I'm going to have you guys point out the things that are here or the things that might be missing. Let's make sure you guys can see the whole. Can you guys see down in that corner over there? Everyone's good? Good. Zoom land, you guys good? Let's just double check here. I think you guys can almost see it. But I'll send a printout of this too. Anyways, so do I have any volunteers that would like to point out? Yes, Sam.
Mr. Mack?
Yes.
Is that the key or the legend on the bottom right, that small text?
Are you indicating right here?
Yes.
That is the key legend. Yes, it is. This is indicating things like some of the rest areas and restrooms around the map of the national park. Do we have anyone else? Yes, Don.
I can't see the compass rose. Is there one there?
Yes. So this one's tricky. So also the screen kind of cuts it off though. But what you'll see with maps, if it doesn't always look like there's a clear cut compass, look down in the corner. It's hard to see here, but there's a little circle with just an arrow pointing up, indicating north. It's kind of tricky. You'll usually, not to give away one of the answers, but this is the scale right here of the map down here in the corner. You'll probably find a hidden compass rose, hidden in quotation marks, next to a scale. So if it's not obviously right out in front of you, maybe look towards the scale or towards kind of the bottom information of the map. You might see it there. Let's see. Let's get one more. Let's get one more. Sam?
I don't think I see the latitude or longitude on this map.
Yes. There's no clearly indicated lines of latitude and longitude. Those will usually have some coordinate numbers along with them. Usually going in increments of 5 or 10, both up and down. So nice job overall, guys. Yes, Don.
I'm not seeing a grid.
Yes, yeah. There's also no grid on the map. Some people get a little confused. Some maps. So this dotted line here is outlining a different thing, but some people might indicate that as the grid. But yes, no grid as well.
Is there a title on this one?
Yes, I would say the title would come up here, and even also across here, stating Yellowstone National Park. Some titles are going to be more obvious than others. This one's kind of more embedded in what you're seeing as opposed to the map itself. So now it's our turn. So today for our class activity, we're going to be creating and comparing mental maps of our personal perceptions of places. This is going to explain how experiences and cultures of ourselves influence these perceptions. So for this activity, you're going to need something to write with and something to write on, and you guys obviously have that right now. Colors, optional, but encouraged. Don't worry about that too much. So take the next 5 minutes here. We're going to create our own mental map of a place of choice. And if you're needing some ideas, something like the IU Bloomington campus, your hometown, your favorite vacation destination, layout of your old high school or middle school. During this activity, I'm going to sit down and kind of join with you guys. So I personally am going to do the IU Bloomington campus. It's kind of what I know and can create a mental map of, but let your imaginations run wild. Challenge being, you cannot look it up. This has to come from your own memory. And just before we start, I'm going to have some past student examples up on the board. Don't get too worried about, comparing your quality of a map to another. These students were from a school I taught at previously, and they had block scheduling, so we had 90 minutes instead of 50 minutes to complete this. So don't worry about that. Just do the best you can in our 5 minutes here. And yeah, we'll start there. So you guys go ahead. Yep, go ahead and start this timer for me, Sam. And we'll come back in about 5 minutes or so. And if you have any questions, please let me know. And it may not be a bad idea, guys, to include some of the features that we've learned about maps as well, if you want to apply what we've already learned. Over here, I'll see if I have any comments from you guys on Zoom. Any questions? Let's see, Timmy. No, you don't feel like you have to put the grid on there. Yep. And my faithful timekeeper over there, Sam. How are we looking?
We have just under 2 minutes.
All right, just under 2 minutes, guys. You know, get those final touches in there, and then we'll come together as a class. And for those who would like to share, we'll share our maps that we've created.
Time's up.
All right, let's bring it back together here, guys, and let's get ready for some group sharing. So I can start off first. I'll give a little to you guys over here in Zoom, and as I come out, so I decided to do a feature of the IU Bloomington campus, specifically the area kind of around my house. So key feature, we have Eigenmann up here, and I've according to the legend, the star equals my home, so you guys will see the star up there. I've got a couple other things, like I have a chicken wing indicating food on my legend, and if you guys look across the top, I've labeled 10th Street, and we have like Pizza X there, and the Nuru sushi place indicated with the food, and then I have a little dumbbell because we all know the SRC is just up there as well, so I have that, and then I've just tried to throw in some other features that you might see on a small scale map like this, like you can see the individual parking spaces. And I've got my scale roughly about 2 inches, like 100 yards on this map. So this is kind of the best I could come up with. I'm sure if someone else did a map of Bloomington, it'd look a little different than mine around this area. So I don't know if anyone else would like to share or anything like that.
I'll go.
All right, Don. Go ahead.
Do I have to stand up? Or?
No, you don't have to. You could
Show
just
you?
yeah. You can show the class here. Those on Zoom they'll be sharing with each other. They can see each
okay.
other's maps. You don't have to worry about that.
All right. Well, I drew a memory map of Main Island in Georgian Bay,
Okay.
Ontario, Canada. I used to vacation there a lot. It shows the road up there from Toronto, Highway 69. It's got a legend. It shows where the main cabin is on Main Island.
All right.
It shows where we park our cars when we used to go there at Point of Barrel. And it indicates Georgian Bay. And if you go west from Georgian Bay, you go out into Lake Huron. Trying to think what else is
Very
there.
nice. You have a compass rose as well.
Yes.
All right. Look, and I see you took inspiration from what you learned earlier about the sneaky compass road. So you just have the indication of north. So very nice. It's an awesome map, and that's a vacation destination for you and your
Yes.
family. That's awesome. Very nice. A lot of lake life and swimming and what?
Very nice. Yes.
Ah, sweet. Maybe one day on this teacher salary, I'll make it there as well. So, Sam, you have any interest? Yes.
I made a map. It's in 2 parts.
Okay.
Because I overestimated the size of my paper.
That's all right. So your scale.
My
you have
scale was wrong.
scale issues. All right.
But this is a map of where I used to work, Cathedral High School.
All right.
And yeah, so you have what they call the hill right here where you enter the school, and then you come up at like a roundabout when you first come in. There's parking lots. I labeled the main buildings, or the buildings, you know, where they have classes. There's the main building, there's an old building they call Loretto, there's the theater. I ran out of time, I think, to do a lot of the map details, but I have the compass rose down here on the bottom.
Perfect. Yeah, you got some of the features in there. The important part was the creating it from memory, and the features on the map, since we learned yesterday, was kind of the secondary aspect of that. So, well, very nice. Those are wonderful maps. Those on Zoom, don't forget to email me yours so we can look over them later. And just something I wanted to also show you guys is a variation among interpretations. So right here we have a map that is from the recordings and the math done by Meriwether Lewis from the Lewis and Clark expedition, everything west of the Mississippi during the Louisiana Purchase. And hundreds of years later, the Encyclopedia Britannica also put their own interpretation of that same map there. So we can see a lot of similarities, but a lot of differences between the two, which leads me into my point. What's the point? Why did I just have you guys spend 5 minutes creating mental maps of places you might know? Anyone want to care to maybe guess what the point of today's lesson has been? There's no wrong answer. Okay? Take a shot in the dark if you really need. And, Sam?
Could it be anything to do with people's dependency on GPS for navigation?
Okay, I like that. I didn't even think about that, but that's also something to think about within this activity. Is when you're put to the test and you really need to know where something is, you know, can you really think of it? I like that. I like that a lot. I should add that to next year's lesson plan. But another aspect I'm hoping to look at with this is demonstrating how each person interprets a place differently, even if it is the same place. So for some of you, I know some of you on Zoom, some of you guys did your old middle school, so you guys can compare how those might vary. Our experiences and culture create our worldview, and it's important to take that into account when looking at maps going forward in this class, the different interpretations. But you can also think of this of how might this strategy of being aware of someone else's different culture, perspective, and different life bringing, how can that help you with interacting with others? Maybe think about some of our scholar key points that we talked about. So as we wrap up this lesson, just a couple things to think about is how are others viewing the world around you? If you're just sitting at the grocery store, you can think that to yourself. And how might those interpretations be similar or different to your own? And think about how the experiences and culture influence your perception of the world around you. So that's kind of what I have for you guys today. Now that we've got a lot of the introductory information out of the way and you guys kind of have a little better perspective on the maps we'll be looking at and how to interpret these maps, now we can start our regions of the world. And next class, we'll be going down to Africa. So get ready to bless those rains. Anyway, thank you guys. Have a great rest of your day. Don't forget your homework, and we'll see you next week.
Thanks, Mr. Mack.